Subscribe now. Hello TVR Universe, I'm Dave from TVR Creators and I make weekly YouTube tips help you build your brand. If that sounds interesting to you, subscribe now. Now you are here to find out about cameras, what cameras you're looking for, if you're a starting photographer, if you're a creator, a YouTuber, if you're just looking for a camera, you want to upgrade from your phone, we've got all that and so much more here in this live stream. Also, do not go anywhere, watch to the end, because in the end of the video I will be sharing with you my setup and what I use. But up till then there's going to be loads of value and some great cameras, and I can't wait because cameras is something that I'm extremely passionate about as a creator. And let's start the value. You're going to get value from this video. Alright, so first off, we're going to go straight over to my good old friend Mr. Amazon, and we're going to have a look at, basically, I'm just going to type in camera. And you're probably thinking, what? Well, you know, I was thinking actually earlier today that sometimes the first thing that most people will search is camera, and what will we look at? Now when you're thinking of starter camera, I'm thinking of perhaps a, you know, enthusiastic person in photography, perhaps somebody that just wants a more powerful camera, or just a camera that's separate from their phone. I think there's nothing wrong, even in 2021, having a camera that's separate from your phone. I love doing it. I love going out and about on walks and stuff with my Canon M50, which I'll perhaps talk about more later. I will talk about more later. But basically, I think it's just really nice to have a camera. Please feel free to comment in the comments what you think. And if you're getting value already, do you ever hit the like button? Now, the first one that hits my eye is the Canon 4000D. As you probably guessed, I love Canon, and what I love about this video, actually, what I love about this camera, it's basically a starter camera. And this is basically for enthusiastic people for photography, photographer enthusiastic people. And this is basically very similar to a camera that I used to use quite a lot, my 1300D, which I don't know if you can actually buy. Actually, we'll perhaps look later. But basically, this is the replacement to that, and it's basically a starter camera, and it is a really cool camera. It comes with the 18-55mm, and it's very good at taking pictures. And you know, but I will be honest, it probably takes as good a picture as a standard phone, so just bear that in mind. So you would have to upgrade the lens if you want to get something a bit more special. But for the price of £400, and that would be about, I don't know, $550 dollars, just to give you a bit of a run around, that is basically the sort of price you'll be looking at for a starter camera. So, you know, get a notepad out and jot down some of these ideas. But some of the cameras we're going to be looking at today are going to be epic. I've got some great ones I want to show you. So, but this is just something that you might want to start thinking about as something to start with. Now, for me personally, let's just have a little back look to see if any of the other cameras that I like pop up. You get these little cameras actually you can clip onto your bikes and stuff like that, but I'm not looking at them today. I'm just seeing, just out of interest, what pops up. Now you could say, look, there was someone the other day that asked me about, like, you know, they had a camera that's 4K and blah blah blah. I just want to show you something just for you guys to bear in mind, especially if you're a creator, because most of you are creators. You know, if you see these cameras that are like complete made up camera, it's 4K, so you know, for the untrained eye, you're like, oh, that sounds good. I just want to show you something really cool. Something I did debate about getting. If you just type in 4K camera, it will probably come up. I'm going to have to put video camera in, so just bear with me 1 second. Yeah, these things. These little camcorders. Now, there's nothing wrong with a camcorder. For years, I used the point-and-shoot camcorder. And, you know, that could be something we perhaps have another video about, you know, the differences between a point-and-shoot and an SLR stroke mirrorless camera. And these are great as a standalone camera for filming. This one particularly comes with an external microphone, and for 150 quid, that is probably within most people's budgets. So, you know, that could be something you may want to look at as a complete starter if you want something away. But just bear in mind that I would completely take no notice of the 4K. Just being honest, because you've got to remember, if we look to that, just bear in mind, we look to that starter camera, that would be a starter camera for someone doing photography mainly, they would do a bit of video. and that was £400. This is the 150. Just bear this in mind. So the lens on it, the important bit is the lens, and the lens is not going to be good. It's not going to have the tracking. It's not going to have the autofocus is good. The lens quality itself just won't be quite anywhere as high tech as something that costs 5, 6, 7, over £1,000. You've got to bear that in mind. So okay, this might only cost 150, but you're paying for what you get. I truly believe that. But at the same time, as a starter camera, or perhaps if you just want to do some messing around footage, or going on a holiday and stuff like that, a little point and shoot is okay. Now, something I wasn't going to talk about actually, but if I was going to get another point and shoot, I would get something that I've already got. The R06. This is what I'd recommend. If you just want a point and shoot camera, you can't even buy it now. So you'd probably have to go into Marketplace, but I would highly recommend, if you're able to, perhaps go on eBay and look for the Canon R806. It's a really good camera. It's really good steady hand, and the autofocus is really good. It has a really nice lens, and the video quality is actually really good. But just bear in mind, on the point and shoot, on the lenses, they are more of a narrow field. So if you're a blogger, we'll get to that more in a moment.
You're going to get value from this video.
Alright, so let's take a brief breather. If you only just joined us, I'm Dave from TVR Creators. I make weekly YouTube tips to help you build your brand. If that sounds interesting to you, subscribe now. Now, if you're getting value from today's video, don't forget to hit the smash button. You guys, yeah. I'll just have a brief look at the comments. Hello, Brad, welcome. So today we are looking at cameras, lots of different cameras for starting photographers, for YouTubers, content creators, and let's get into the absolute value that I want to talk about more specifically. So something that I personally would then crack on with, hang on, 200, oh, the auto thing is coming in, go away, bear with me. Live TV. Yeah, so basically, if you want to spend a bit more, the Canon M50 is desperate to be involved today. If you want a really good blogging camera, right, that has a fantastic lens, the kit lens, 14-45mm, takes fantastic pictures, will take great video, HD and 4K, but I would concentrate more on the HD at this time personally. Has a flip screen, stuff like that. For around 500, you can get the Canon M200, which replaced the Canon M100, which is still a camera I still really want. But for this great price, you're going to remember that starting camera was 300-400. This is 500 for a little bit more, and the picture quality will be better than your phone. Even if you have a top of the range, whatever you've got, this will be better than that, I promise you. And it just has all the features, and it's easy to use. It has got millions of buttons. It's very simple to use, has a really nice turn screen. If you just click on it now, let's have a look at the value. So if you're a blogger, if you want to take just great photos, you just want to play around with, if you're filming maybe indoors, so it doesn't matter so much about external microphone, a great starting camera. You can live stream with these as well, and this is just a great camera to use. It's just a real nice camera. It's really small, the biggest thing on it is the lens, and you can get a smaller one if you want. You can get just a 24mm, and that would make it even smaller, but it's tiny. If you've seen me use my M50, it's smaller than that. And this would be a great camera for any sort of starter creator as a really nice first camera. I think this is something that you would perhaps really want to look into. It's just a great camera to start with. Now, for me personally, so we've looked at like the photographer cameras, we'll perhaps look at that more, but we want to concentrate more on creators now. So thinking about that value, something that you may want to look at is the 250D. Now, this is something you might want to bear in mind. between this and the Canon M50. These were the two cameras I was looking at as my main video camera. And what I like about both these cameras, they have mic jacks, so you can make an external. So think about your setup now. So you want your camera, your tripod, you want to think about, you know, your microphones, but we talked about that more in other videos. We're just sort of concentrating on cameras today. So just bear that in mind, you know, your lights and your tripods and your microphones and your lighting, all the rest of it. So the Canon 250D is a great camera. So it's an SLR camera, so it's a bit bigger than the M50. It's just a normal size. If you can imagine, if any of you have, don't forget, value, check out our merch. Value. If you can imagine a normal size SS a normal camera, I've been completely doubled on my mind. So you can imagine a normal size camera, basically. So this will take fantastic photos. It would take great video in HD and 4K. I personally still say in 2021, HD is more than fine. But if you want to record and film in 4K, there's nothing wrong with that. If you want to record in slow motion, I recommend HD because you can do up to 160 frames per second. Bear that in mind. And the lens that comes with this is 18-55, and that will be a very good lens. So I'd highly recommend this. A while ago, I did look at the 200D actually, but I believe, I might be wrong here, it didn't have the mic jack, but I might be wrong actually. I think it's just an older camera, so obviously you want something newer. And obviously with this, you can get multiple lenses. So you can get like your 250, you know, if you're thinking about your photography side, you might want to get the 250 or 300mm. I believe I got a 300mm for my 1300D. And if you've got a mirrorless camera, you can get an adapter. So basically you can use old lenses, you can buy any lens you want, attach it to your mirrorless camera, and off you go. So don't worry too much about that, because there are some people out there that do say mirrorless cameras have less lenses, which is true, but you just get a small adapter, put on your bigger lens, and off you go. But I would highly recommend the Canon 250 as a great recommendation, as something you might want to look at. Now for me personally, I would think, what do you want? This does have the flip screen, it has a jack, so again, thinking of your setup, so you can have an external microphone. It's a nice size if you don't want something too small, if you've got like massive hands maybe, or even if you just want a normal size camera. And bear in mind, you have the customization of literally any lens you want within the Canon range, or all the customized random ones you can buy for the I keep forgetting what they're called. There. There. Anyway, don't worry about it. So it's just a camera. I can't remember what you call it. DSLR. Yeah, you know what I mean. Anyway, I can't resist but to go to the camera of the day. This is the highlight, and let's crack on with the value.
You're going to get value from this video.
Alright, welcome! Welcome. I'm just about to showcase you my favourite camera, and that is the Canon M50. I love this camera. I've got it in the bag just over there. I use it all the time. There's someone last week quite rightly said, why don't you use it live stream? The only reason I don't is just because sometimes, you know, I'm so desperate to give you guys value, it's just easier still to plug in a webcam, if I'm honest. But you can use it by USB. The Canon does have the utensil driver, so you can use your mirrorless camera or any of your Canons as a webcam, and you can also use a capture card. Obviously it costs a bit more, but you can buy yourself a capture card with a HDMI cable. Make sure you get the micro one to big, and off you go. So there's something that really I should do, but I love this camera, and I'm going to tell you why I love this camera. I love this camera because it's a bit smaller. It has a fantastic kit lens which picks up light fantastically, even in lower light. Even in a video that I showed, check it out after this live stream that I made last year about filming outside. I tried to go into the trees to prove, like, you know, it's a bit darker, and the lens had no problem. The autofocus had no problem. The sensor in the camera had no problem picking up that extra light to make sure the picture looked great. It wasn't grainy, and I'm not even just saying this. When I was editing that video, I was like, oh, that was supposed to look dark. So it is absolutely brilliant. And again, you can buy other lenses for it. You can buy an adapter if you've got an older lens, or if you want to buy a bigger lens. don't worry too much about that. But personally, I've had the kit lens and it has been more than I've needed. The only thing I recommend with any camera that you get, especially if you're content creators, is ensure you buy at least one spare battery, and try to do what I tried to do, is make sure you've got them on charge. So if you're out, you know, on location or out and about filming or, you know, taking pictures, you've just got that second battery on. And this ain't just for the Canon M50, this is for any camera, just in case you're out about too long and you run out of battery, because that's the worst thing you want when you've got a really perfect photo to take and you run out of battery. So you don't want that. So that's a little tip I would highly recommend. And it has happened to me before when I've gone to a location and I've had a dead battery and I forgot to take my spare. So don't do that. I have done that. But yeah, I love this camera. So it has the mic jack, so you can use external microphone, being a shotgun mic, a clip-on mic, whatever mic you want to use. I find personally, when I'm doing my videos, I'll talk about my setup later. But anyway, so I love this camera, so I'm going to talk about this a bit more later because this is my setup, so do not go anywhere. I absolutely love this camera because you've got the flip screen, the microphone jack, fantastic lens, the sensor on it is superb. It can record in 4K, but like I said earlier, HD is more than fine for what I feel I need. And you also, something I want you guys to bear in mind, if you don't already, if you've been watching these live streams and videos over the past weeks and months, you'll know that I say quite a lot about that. It's fine. You've got what you got, and I've completely lost my train of thought again. Wow.
You're going to get value from this video.
All right, value. Let's have a look. You guys rock. All right, let's go on to another camera. I'm going to talk about the Canon M50 more in my setup later in the video, so do not go anywhere. Now, I have got a list here of a few cameras I want to talk about. What have I not talked about? This, out of interest, let's see if the M100's here. It is. It was being sold yesterday, and Amazon don't always have it. There are some buying news. Out of interest, is that any of them? Now, what I would highly recommend for you core people that have got to this far in the video, Argus on eBay are doing a fantastic deal still on the Canon M100. It comes with two lenses, and it's for £300. So if you live in sort of England part of the world, I don't know, you might be able to buy it abroad, you'd have to look into it. But I would say that was a fantastic deal if you just want a nice little second camera, or you just want to do blogging, or you're not too bothered at this point about having an external microphone. The Canon M100 is definitely a camera I highly recommend, and it has the same lens I use on a weekly basis. I absolutely love, I just want to get my hands on this camera. But anyway, yeah. Now, I want to show you some new cameras, actually, that I've came across for you guys. And we found some competition. The Sony, bear in mind, wait for it, the Sony ZV-1. I can't talk today. This is something that could give, and is giving, a bit of competition to the Canon M50. It is a brilliant... this is basically designed specifically for you guys, content creators. If you're getting value from this video and you haven't done so already, smash that like button and share this video with family and friends. I think this video, this camera even, is a great camera. I've not used it personally, but if you just look at it, now you can't interchange the lenses, which is a bit annoying. This is why I still prefer the Canon M50, so bear that in mind. But it already has external microphone with a windbreaker on it, which is cool. Has a really nice turn screen, which is a touch screen. Again, the Canon M50 does that as well. But, you know, if you're someone that just prefers Sony, it's a really nice camera. It's really small. It's just like a, you know, a old school sort of the point and shoot photo cameras. It's a really nice little camera. Like I said, it's got this external microphone. It records in 4K and in HD, and it's round the similar price to the Canon M50. I think sometimes a little bit more, so just bear that in mind. So for slightly less, you could get the Canon M50 putting a microphone on it, and also you've got the customization of having to you can customize your lenses, so that gives you a bit more creativity, so bear that in mind. But this would be a great camera for any of you guys that are looking for, you know, something content creation wise. And bear in mind that links to literally all the cameras I'm talking about today, I've got links in the description, so go and check it out at any point, and that will take you straight there. So see what you think. But this is the great little camera. Now, another one I found, actually, which you might want to look at as well. I cannot remember what it's called off the top of my head. It's called the, I think I've read this right, the Alpha 6400. Now, I believe Nick Newman, a creator that I follow, uses, I can't remember the exact model number, but he just used he has about 3 Sonys on his streams now. And I think it is more or less one of these. So this costs a bit more. It has the, bear in mind, Sony's tend to have, apart from that one I just showed you, but they tend to have the flip screen go up. Now, something I want you to bear in mind, if you've got a external microphone, you might have to get like a jack case for your camera, and then you might have to put the external microphone on the side. But if you don't, you know, you're not too bothered about that extra work, that's fine. But just bear that in mind, where the Canon 50 has a little slot already on the top, the swivel screen goes to the side, and you could put your external microphone on the top. So again, this is another reason why I personally prefer the Canon M50 still. But again, this is a great old camera. It does cost more, but apparently it takes fantastic 4K video. It's not cut at all. It has a brilliant, just like a lot of these mirrorless cameras, it has 24 megapixels, which is great quality. And like I said, in HD and 4K, this camera will produce some great value in photos and video. I know you're probably thinking, wow, there's a lot to take in here, there's a lot of cameras to pick from, but I just want to just share you some things, because you might, you know, really like one of the cameras I show today, and you might go, you know what, Dave, that's the camera I'm going for. I personally, if you're asking for my personal opinion, no sponsor, the Canon M50 all the way. But that's just my personal opinion. But this camera just look really good. But what's a bit annoying, it doesn't appear to have any lenses with it. So if I'm not mistaken, you would actually have to buy this and then possibly buy another lens on top. So bear that in mind. So you're talking over $1,000 by the time you've done all that. So, you know, again, you know, you've got the price ratio there. And even if it does, it looks like it only comes with a little lens anyway. So you might have to get something a bit better. So that's something else to bear in mind. But these are really good. The sensors on these cameras are really good, I've been told. Really good. So bear that in mind. Bear in mind the value. Now, something else you want to bear in mind, actually. If we go to cameras again, you might want to bear in mind, let's see if we can find one. You're probably thinking, what are you looking for, Dave? I'm looking for sets, like camera set, see if that comes up. It's not going to do it now, is it? Okay. Bear in mind, just hang on, guys. Now, something you might want to look at, yeah, these sort of things. So you come with these little, this is going back to the 4000D, the starter camera we looked at earlier. And I thought actually this was quite a nice little starter kit for somebody. So you get this really cool, so let's start to think of like your setup. So you want to get yourself a cheap tripod. This starter set actually comes with a really good SD card. That's an Ultra SD card. I use the extreme ones actually, that are even better, but that'll be fine. It comes with a basic tripod. It comes with a couple of lenses by the look of it. So this would be a really good starter kit for a passionate photographer, if I'm honest. Now, what I found last night, if I can find it, look, is that it? So that is quite good. So this costs obviously a bit more, but so for you content creators, this is really cool. So it comes with a really nice, what they call a gorilla grip. These are really cool. So, you know, if you find a fence or a chair or something, you can sort of grip them round, put your camera on it. I personally, because obviously Canon 50 is not a cheap camera. I'll be worried about dropping it, but if you feel confident you can wrap it round something, that's fine. It comes with a really good shotgun mic. I keep meaning to buy one of these. These cost about 50 quid or 40 quid depending on what day of the week it is. Bear that in mind, prices do change. And it comes with a basic SD card, but you know, that'll be quite a nice little starter kit. And obviously with the Canon M50 you cannot go wrong there. Me personally, I'd probably mix it up a bit. If I was going to buy a starter kit for myself or for someone, you know, you probably would think, oh, you know what, I'm going to have the Canon M50, I'm going to get myself a half decent tripod, get myself an extreme SD card, which would cost about £7, and get myself a decent microphone, and off you go.
So if you're getting value from this video and you're enjoying the content, please give us a like and a share and subscribe to this channel.
Alright, so if you're just joining us, I'm Dave from TVR Creators. I make weekly YouTube tips help you build your brand. If that sounds interesting to you, subscribe now. So if you're just joining us, we've been looking at lots of different types of cameras. I've just got my list here now because there's quite a few I want to talk about. So we looked at the M50, we looked at the M200, I've told you what I thought of the M100, we looked at the two Sonys I wanted to share with you guys, we looked at the 4000D. So they are the main ones. So let's go to my setup.
You're going to get value from this video.
Alright, so my setup, you're probably thinking, Dave, what is your setup? So my personal setup is the Canon M50 as my standard #1 creator's camera. I love it. Why do I love it? It's got an external microphone jack, so I can plug in my microphone. I tend to use a clip-on microphone on a second tripod, have it about a foot away when I'm recording. Brilliant little setup. I have a really nice tripod which I've shown in the video, so go and check it out. And that is pretty much my main setup, and at the moment I have one or two softbox lights. I'm not using them today just because the webcam gets scared of those lights for some reason, but I do use them in my filming. I've just ordered some new lights, so I've got an awesome box I'm planning to unbox at some point. That'll become a new video, so look out for that. And I'll tell you what, I just love that camera, and that's my basic setup. So, and what's cool about that, you know, I've got a really cool bag, you know, you could sort of pack it all up, take it off, and off you go, that type of thing. So bear in mind, you know, there's lots of things that you can do. Now, you know, if you don't want to spend that much, you're probably talking 800-900, you're probably talking close to £1,000 by the time you spend all that. So if you do want to spend that straight away, I would personally go with, see if you can get yourself a Canon M100. See if you can get it on Marketplace. It's not at the moment, but just keep an eye out, or go on eBay. You can get, I believe on eBay you can get a second-hand one. If that doesn't bother you, I know a lot, that's fine. You can get it for about 150, 200, something like that. You know, make sure the reviews are tight, they're good. And just get yourself a cheap tripod, again on eBay for about £15. There you go, that's all you need. You can use natural light. You don't have to worry too much, you know, if you're just recording indoors anyway. You don't have to worry too much about audio. That could come later. So for literally under £200, you've got your personal starter set. So that's something you want to bear in mind. And again, if you don't want to buy a camera, you can use your phone, as I'm sure you know, and you can stick that on a tripod, and there you go, a starter set for £15. But I personally feel, you know, it's just separate from your life. Let's face it, our lives are on our phones in this day and age, and it just feels nice to have that separate camera away from our lives, so to speak. So that's why personally I would always have a designated camera for my videos.
You're going to get value from this video.
Alright, let's just have a look in the box. Let's see who's there. Boom, boom, boom. Right, so if you watch this on the replay, I highly recommend, if you have any questions about cameras or anything I've perhaps not mentioned, feel free to comment in the comments below. I'll do my best to answer them. If you want to talk about what your setup is, feel free, if you watch this on the replay, to comment in the comments below. I'll be really fascinated to see what cameras and setups you use. You might have something even more impressive than what I use. Just be really interested to see what you guys are using. If you're just using your phone, that's fine. You can find TVR Creators on Instagram and Twitter and on Facebook if you want to see what's going on, if you want to join the community. It's a growing community all the time. If you want to support the brand, watch as many of our videos. We have lots of videos and all sorts of things on lighting and sound and all sorts of things. So go and check our channel, watch a few of our videos. And if you just want to support the brand just by watching our videos from start to end, even if it's in the background while you're listening, while you're cooking dinner, that is supporting the brand. And I just want to thank the silent listeners. For those of you that for whatever reason can't log in or don't want to log in or whatever, thank you for watching. Thank you everybody for watching today's video. Hope you got value from today's video. Have a great weekend, keep safe, and remember guys, as always, you guys rock! Want to learn more about YouTube and growing your channel? Subscribe now.